Hey barbecue family, this is Kenyatta Robinson. Welcome to the Backyard Smokemaster Barbecue channel. Today we're going to do beef ribs on my Lone Star Grillz 20 by 42 inch offset smoker. For this cook, I want to try and keep my smoker around 275. If I can get it up to 300 degrees, that would be even better. But it's a bit chilly today here in the San Francisco Bay Area. Right now it's about 48 degrees outside, so I might have some challenges keeping my temperature up, but as long as it's in that smoking range between 225, 275, 300, I'm good. Before we get started, I would like to let you guys know that I've been hard at work putting together a digital online barbecue course. It's called How to Become a Backyard Barbecue Pitmaster in 1 month. And if you would like to level up your skills in barbecue, or if you know someone who wants to learn how to barbecue, the focus is going to be on barbecuing with charcoal. So mainly with charcoal based cookers like your Weber Kettle, Weber Summit Kamado, PK360, the ceramic cookers. If you know someone that you think this course would be good for, please let them know. Go to backyardsmokemaster.com, get on the mailing list to be amongst the first to learn when this course launches. There will be a special 50% offer for the first 10 people who sign up for the course. For these beef ribs, we're going to make our own rub today. Shout out to Matt Horn of Horn Barbecue here in the San Francisco Bay Area. I am using his recipe today. So we've got 4 tablespoons of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of coarse salt, 1 tablespoon of coarse black pepper, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, and 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. I also want to send out my well wishes to Matt. His barbecue restaurant in Oakland recently burned down. I understand that there are plans to rebuild. Hopefully it will be back in Oakland, back in the Bay Area, but I do want to wish him well on that endeavor. Get all of the spices into a bowl and then mix them together, mix them well. Pound out any lumps. Now I'm just going to score the backside of the ribs. Make sure you have a sharp knife. Next, apply the binder. I like to use mayo on beef, but you can use mustard, olive oil, lots of different choices. Next, I'm just going to apply the rub that we made. And I'm not too concerned about going really heavy on the bone side. Let's give it a light pat. And next we'll do the meat side. So just repeat the process. I also want to get some rub on the sides and the ends as well. And then I like to let my meat hang out in the fridge while I continue to get my smoker up to temperature. Smoke likes cold meat. That's when your meat is going to take on most of its smoke flavor. So I like to just get it back in the fridge until we're ready to go. Now let's talk about today's game plan. You always want to have a plan when you're barbecuing. You don't want to just be out there flying by the seat of your pants. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to let these ribs stay on the smoker. I'm not going to do any peeking or anything for the first 2 hours. When we get to the 2-hour mark, that's when I'm going to take my first look at the ribs, and I will then decide whether or not I want to begin spritzing. I'm going to spritz with just water. I like to keep it simple, but you could do other things. You could do a water vinegar mixture. You could do apple cider vinegar. You could do some type of apple juice or another juice. If it does have sugar in it, just be careful because the sugar can burn and it could cause your meat to get darker than maybe you want in terms of its appearance. But generally, if you're smoking, keeping those temperatures low and slow, that usually isn't an issue unless temperatures start to get away from you. But again, I'm just going to keep it simple, spritzing with water. And then from that point, I will check on the ribs and spritz them once every hour from that point on. And then once I get to around 165, somewhere in that 160, 165 range, I'll make a decision about whether or not I want to wrap the ribs. If I do decide to wrap, I will use butcher paper for that. And then from that point, we'll just continue to cook these ribs until they get up into the 203 to 205 range. That's the ideal finishing temperature that I'm looking for today. Smoker has reached about 255 degrees, I think 275, and definitely 300 is gonna be out of my range today. It's just a little bit too chilly, but we can go with 250. If I can keep it in that ballpark, I'm gonna be good. So we'll go ahead and get these beef ribs onto the smoker. I was struggling for a while keeping temperatures up above 225 until I decided to not only have the damper on the firebox completely wide open, but I also decided to leave the door open just slightly. And that has helped me get my temperatures up over 250 degrees. Just letting a little bit more oxygen into the firebox consistently. We're 2 hours into the cook, and here's our first look at the beef ribs. Got a long ways to go, but I'm gonna go ahead and do my first spritz. And I'm just gonna keep doing this every hour. I'll probably start checking the internal temperature after around 6 hours or so, just to see where we are and see how close we are to 165, that range, which is where I will make a decision about whether or not I want to wrap. We're now 4 hours into the cook. And look, you can see all of that pullback. Really nice progress after 4 hours. I've been spritzing once every hour once we got past the 2 hour mark. I'm gonna continue to do that. And we'll check back in at the 6 hour mark and see where our internal temperature is. We're now 6 hours into this cook, so we're going to take a look and see what the internal temperature is. on these beef ribs. And we're coming in at 170, which is great. 169. I usually don't wrap my beef ribs, and I'm not going to wrap these either. We're just going to continue to push through until we can get them up around 203, 205, somewhere in that range. I will go ahead and spritz like I've been doing every hour. Close this back up, and we're just going to keep trucking along. Coming in at just under 11 hours. We're at 207, 208, 207. So I'm definitely going to pull these beef ribs. Better look at all that pullback from the bone. Just beautiful. Next, I'm going to get the ribs off of the smoker. Probably let them rest for between 30 minutes and an hour, maybe 45 minutes or so, just to give that meat time to those fibers to settle down, and it'll be super juicy when I cut into it. The moment of truth is here. I let the beef ribs rest for a little bit more than 30 minutes. Man, what I love about these beef ribs is that it's just like eating a brisket, like the point on the brisket, or what might be called the fatty. Perfectly tender. It's really good, guys. That rub is outstanding on this brisket. Every time I make these beef ribs, I always come away thinking this is one of my favorite things to cook in barbecue. And then you end up with wonderful morsels of beef like this. When that moment of truth hits, when you're able to taste it, it makes the entire process so well worth it. And I especially love it when I cook these ribs on my offset smoker. Let me know in the comments what you thought of this cook. If you have a different approach, how do you feel about smoking your beef ribs? If you haven't already, please take the time to like the video, subscribe to the channel. That helps me out a lot. And again, I love hearing from you guys. Give me your feedback. This is Kenyatta Robinson. Thanks for tuning in to the Backyard Smokemaster Barbecue channel. Take care, get out there and enjoy your smokers, and I'll see you in the next one.